Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. I want to go to Numbers, the 14th chapter, and we're going to go into Joshua's good report and how honesty is an attribute that is also added unto the Lord's men. Okay, all these attributes that we've been going over, they're intertwined. Okay, so this is Numbers 14 and 1. All right, it reads, "And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night." Okay, and all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And those same spirits are murmuring against the prophets in this time. Murmuring against the order that the Lord is establishing within the nation. And that is why they too, just like they didn't get to enter into the land, all that generation had to die off. And that new generation got to enter the land. 2/3 of our people, man, they're that wicked generation that are going to die off on this side. And they'll be born again in the kingdom with the laws written within their inward parts. All right, verse 2 once more. "And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, Would Yahweh that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness." All right, and basically they were saying, if only we died in Egypt, or even here in the wilderness. They were complaining, even though the Lord did all those amazing miracles, showed that he was with them, delivered them out of the hand of Pharaoh. They still had this pessimistic attitude, this nagging attitude, ungrateful, unappreciative, not recognizing what the Lord had done for them and the value that he brought to the table. Sound familiar? All right, verse 3. "And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt?" So they want to go back to Egypt, you know, and live underneath the Egyptians. All right. And a part of this walk, man, you have to step into a rulership mentality. We don't want a piece of this devil's pie. We don't want to coexist with another nation in his kingdom as equals. No, we're above. All right. Deuteronomy 7:6, I believe. So let's read this again, verse 3. "And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land, and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey." All right, and this is the good report that Joshua gave. He was honest. They were in that rulership mentality. They wanted to inherit the kingdom. They were on one accord with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as are we. All right, verse 9. "Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land. For they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not." And they were already, the people in that land were already spooked because of the children of Israel, because they had heard how the Lord backed them up in the land of Egypt. And Egypt was a juggernaut at the time. And the Lord completely dismantled them. Each of the plagues he sent was in direct opposition of the gods that the Egyptians were worshiping. Okay, verse 10. "But all the congregation bade stone them with stones." Man. And the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. The Lord had to intervene. "And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? for all the signs which I have shewed among them. The Lord did all, like I said, the Lord did all these things. And these niggas were still in this pessimistic and nagging spirit. All right, verse 12. I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it. For thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and a pillar of fire by night. The chariot, man, the chariot was guiding them, man. The technology leaps and bounds beyond anything that the people of this world can develop. All right, verse 15. It just persistent proof that the Lord was dealing with us specifically. Persistent proof that whatever the Lord told us to do, we were going to be successful at it. There was no question. But those same spirits that were murmuring, man, they didn't have that faith. They weren't endowed with the gift of faith. All right, verse 15. Now, if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard of the fame of thee will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them. Therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of thy Lord be great according as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression. All right, and this is what we hope to be forgiven of our iniquity and our transgressions. But we can't fear the people of this world, like it was stated earlier in the chapter. We can't, have that fear of losing or missing out on this side. You have to detach from this world, man. So when it is time to remove yourself from it, it's not a burden unto you. You're not choked away with the cares of this life. And we went over that in the last episode of the series. All right. And I'll probably call this an interlude between 3 and 4. I wouldn't necessarily call this an episode. Okay, verse 18 again. The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. And those are the same spirits coming back, and they receive their judgment. 19. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt, even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles which I did in Egypt in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened unto my voice, surely they shall not see the land. This was the sentence for their unbelief. All right. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. So that's why that generation died off, and that generation after them, they're the ones that entered into the land. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and had followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites, the Amalekites are the so-called Jew today. All right, the chief tribe of Edom. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. And we hear it all the time, man. They call us everything in the book. But that's a rite of passage within this walk. All right, verse 28. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcass shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in. And they shall know that the land which ye have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms, until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years. And ye shall know my breach of promise. I, the Lord, have said. When the Lord says something, it comes to pass. Ain't no reversing it. I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation. So we got to realize, man, that the spirits, 2/3 of our people today, these are the same spirits back then. They're that evil congregation. So there isn't any nation building on this side. There isn't any bringing all of Israel together. It's not going to happen. These are those same spirits that were murmuring. And you see it in their actions today. That are gathered together against me, remember verse 35, in this wilderness, they shall be consumed and they shall die. And the men which Moses sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up slander upon the land. All right, they were given that evil report. Even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before the Lord. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. All right. And Moses told these sayings unto the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and got them into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and will go up unto the place which the Lord hath promised, for we have sinned. And Moses said, Wherefore now do ye transgress the commandment for the Lord? But it shall not prosper. Go not up, for the Lord is not among you, that ye be smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because ye are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you. So the Lord wasn't with them, man, because they were in that unbelieving, faithless, murmuring spirit. And the so-called Christians today, who are really Satanists and white supremacists, they're in that same spirit, man, of the murmurers. But they presume to go up unto the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomfited them, even unto Hormah. All right, so we don't want to be a part of that generation, man. That we don't want to be a part of that cloth the 2/3 are cut from, man. Those murmurers. We see that the glory that the Lord has shown us, man. He woke us up out of that deep sleep, man. We were dry bones at one point in time. And he laced us with the flesh, okay? And we rose up out of that dead state and we were able to see. That's divine in itself, man. Honesty. I'll make this quick statement on honesty. And there's an article that one the brother Tazama put in the chat, and it made a good point. So I want to read this little excerpt from the article. It says, "You must be honest, because there's absolutely no room in our military world for dishonesty, half-truth, or any other shade in between. When the outcome of the battle could rest on the truth of your report, your word must be your bond." And when you had those guys that they gave that evil report, man. They gave that evil report, and it cost that generation their life. They got the evil report. They were murmuring, all that, and it led to death, man. You can't have any chinks in the armor, man. I keep referencing that movie 300. Everybody had to hold their shield a particular way to cover the next man. Any false move could cost the whole platoon their life. So honesty is the same way. It says, when the outcome of the battle could rest on the truth of your report, your word must be your bond. In private life, one can avoid or make allowance for those who have trouble telling the truth. But in the army, and we're the Lord's, The scriptures say, endure hardness as a good soldier. We're within the Lord's army. The weapons of our warfare are spiritual, of course, but we're within the Lord's army, man. We're behind enemy lines right now. So within the Lord's, amongst his band, there's no room for dishonesty. But in the army, soldiers depend on each other too much to accept anything but complete honesty. All good soldiers understand the need of truthfulness and shun those who lie. All right, man. So you got to be upright, have integrity, take accountability when you're going off. Be honest with the man next to you. Be honest with yourself. The scriptures say to examine thyself whether you be in the faith. So that honesty, man, is another characteristic of the Lord's man that's added unto you in a much different way. You realize the honor, you realize the importance of being honest with your brother. All right, so, and the consequences that could come from not being honest. All right, so, but with that being said, I want to give our praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.